Did you know that every morning you wake up is a new opportunity to create your day? It's not just a fresh start, it's a powerful reset, a blank canvas upon which you can paint your ideal experience of life. Every sunrise brings with it a unique constellation of possibilities, shaped not by external conditions, but by your internal choices. Yet, so often, we find ourselves caught in a cycle where our emotional state is dictated by things outside of our control: traffic, weather, the moods of others, or even the smallest of inconveniences. These external triggers seep into our consciousness like ink on paper, staining our mood and distorting our perspective. We allow these seemingly insignificant moments to ripple through our entire day, sometimes even affecting how we interact with others, how productive we are, and how deeply we sleep at night. But what if I told you that you have the power to take back control, not through force, but through awareness? What if you could learn to act as if nothing bothers you, no matter what life throws your way? This isn't about becoming numb or indifferent. It's about cultivating an inner resilience that allows you to remain grounded, centered, and emotionally sovereign regardless of the chaos swirling around you. At first glance, this idea may seem impossible, even unrealistic. After all, aren't emotions meant to be felt, processed, and expressed? Absolutely. But the key lies in how we choose to respond to those emotions. Do they control us, or do we guide them? We're all familiar with the age-old phrase, "Don't sweat the small stuff." While simple in concept, it holds profound wisdom when examined closely. From the mind's perspective, there is no inherent difference between what we label as big or small. What matters most is how we interpret and assign meaning to events. Everything we encounter is input, data flowing into our system. The brain doesn't distinguish between major trauma and minor irritation unless we tell it to. So why not reframe your relationship with that input? Why not consciously choose how you perceive and respond to the constant stream of information coming at you throughout the day? It's not about ignoring discomfort or suppressing emotion. It's about stepping into your agency and deciding how much weight you give to any given moment. Let's take a common scenario: driving to work and being cut off in traffic. In an instant, your body reacts, heart rate spikes, muscles tense, thoughts spiral. You might mutter under your breath or slam your hand against the steering wheel. That one event now defines the rest of your commute, possibly even the tone of your entire morning. I'm not suggesting reckless behavior should be ignored or excused. People who drive aggressively or disrespect others' space absolutely bear responsibility for their actions. However, you have complete autonomy over your response. You can allow that driver to ruin your entire day, or you can choose to let it go, to act as if it didn't bother you at all. This is not about pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It's about refusing to give away your peace of mind to something beyond your control. When something happens that we perceive as unpleasant or bothersome, a complex biochemical process kicks into motion within the body. Our nervous system activates the fight or flight response, flooding the bloodstream with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Emotions surge, logic fades, and rationality takes a back seat. It's a survival mechanism rooted in evolution, designed to keep us safe in the face of real danger. But in modern life, this system often misfires, interpreting minor slights or inconveniences as existential threats. The result: a chronic state of agitation, anxiety, or frustration that clouds our judgment and diminishes our quality of life. What if you could interrupt that process before it spirals out of control? What if, at the very moment you feel that emotional charge rising, you could pause, breathe, and consciously choose to short-circuit the reaction before it takes hold? It won't happen overnight, and it certainly won't be easy. But with consistent practice, you can train your mind and body to respond differently, to stay calm, centered, and grounded, even when the world around you feels chaotic and unpredictable. This is the essence of emotional mastery. Acting as if nothing bothers you means developing what I call ultimate life force traits. These are the qualities that define someone who has taken full ownership of their internal state and refuses to let external circumstances dictate their peace of mind. It means stepping into your personal power and reminding yourself daily that you are the creator of your reality, not the victim of circumstances. When you embody these traits, you radiate strength, clarity, and purpose. You become unshakable in your core, even when the surface of your life experiences turbulence. One of those ultimate life force traits is imperturbability, the ability to remain calm, poised, and unflustered in the face of any situation. It's the opposite of being easily disturbed or thrown off balance. Imperturbability means knowing that you have the inner strength to weather any storm without losing your center. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine when it isn't. Rather, it's about maintaining your composure, clarity, and grace, even in the midst of challenge. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are not defined by your circumstances, but by how you choose to respond to them. Another key trait is unflappability, not easily ruffled or thrown off balance. When you're unflappable, you move through life with grace and ease, not allowing external events to ruffle your feathers or shake your composure. Unflappability is a sign of emotional maturity and deep self-awareness. It reflects an understanding that while life will inevitably present difficulties, you don't have to be knocked off course by every gust of wind. Instead, you learn to ride the waves of change with poise, adaptability, and resilience. Now I know what you might be thinking. Yeah, that all sounds great in theory, but how do I actually put this into practice? How do I train myself to truly embody these traits in my daily life? Well, my friends, it starts with awareness. You must become hyper-aware of your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations in any given moment. Awareness is the foundation of transformation. Without it, we remain unconscious actors in our own lives, reacting instead of responding. When you feel that initial twinge of annoyance or anger brewing, recognize it for what it is: just an impulse signal from your brain. Your body is giving you feedback, not a command. You have a choice. You can latch onto that feeling and let it consume you, or you can consciously interrupt the pattern. Take a deep breath. Feel your feet grounding into the earth. Remind yourself, I am not going to let this bother me. I am in control of my state of being. These words are not just affirmations, they are anchors. They help you return to center, to recalibrate your energy, and to remind yourself that you are not powerless. It's like hitting the reset button in your mind and body. You're choosing to stay centered, poised, and unflustered no matter what's happening around you. And let me tell you, when you start acting as if nothing can bother you, it's incredibly empowering. You'll find that you move through life with a newfound sense of ease and lightness. Things that used to set you off, someone cutting you off, a delayed flight, a cancelled meeting, will barely even register. You'll stop sweating the small stuff because you'll realize that, in the grand scheme of things, it's all small stuff. And here's the real kicker. As you begin to embody these ultimate life force traits of imperturbability and unflappability, you'll notice that your external reality starts to shift. The situations and people that used to bother you will have less and less of an effect. It's like you're operating on a whole different frequency, one of inner peace, centeredness, and conscious creation. So how do you get to that place? Well, my friends, it takes practice, lots and lots of practice. But stick with me because the payoff is so worth it. Start by catching yourself throughout the day whenever you feel that emotional charge rising. Maybe someone says something that rubs you the wrong way, or you spill your coffee, or you hit every red light on your commute. Whatever it is, pause for a moment and simply observe the feeling without judging it or latching onto it. Breathe deeply. Remind yourself, I am not going to let this bother me. I am in control of my state of being. Say it out loud if you need to. Let those words become your mantra, your anchor back to a state of calm and ease. At first, it might feel a bit forced or unnatural. That's okay. Anything worth having takes time and practice. But as you continue to make this a habit, you'll find that it gets easier and easier to act as if nothing bothers you. Eventually, it will become second nature. As you start to embody these traits of imperturbability and unflappability, you'll notice that your entire life starts to transform. Situations that used to cause you immense stress and anxiety will barely even register. You'll move through your days with a sense of lightness and ease that you never thought possible. Of course, there will still be challenges and difficult moments. That's just part of life. But you'll find that you're able to navigate them with far more grace and resilience than ever before. you'll be able to maintain your center no matter what storms come your way. So my friends, I invite you to make a commitment to yourself today. Commit to learning how to act as if nothing bothers you. Commit to developing those ultimate life force traits of imperturbability and unflappability. It won't happen overnight, but with consistent practice and commitment, you'll find that you're able to move through true life with a newfound sense of freedom, ease, and inner peace. Let me leave you with this. When you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you'll not only transform your own experience of life, but you'll become a beacon of inspiration for those around you. Your calm, centered presence will be a light that others are drawn to, a reminder that true peace and empowerment comes from within. So are you ready to take back control of your state of being? Are you ready to step into your ultimate life force and learn to act as if nothing bothers you? If so, then let's get started. The journey begins today in this very moment. And I promise you, the rewards will be greater than you can even imagine.
So there are other people in this world, they have grown up differently and they ask themselves different questions. But we all live the same life. So which way is the right way? The Western approach or the Eastern approach? No, listen to all of them. And then individually choose what is working for you and what not. It's not just the physicality that is so interesting about this tradition, about these practices. It is especially the question, how does all this physicality, all this practicing of using the body, how does it eventually translate into your mindset, translate into what type of character are you? Do you have patience? Do you have discipline? Do you have willpower? This is the question. Because, you know, when we go to school, for example, there are subjects that we are learning. Mathematics, biology, physics, chemistry, all of these things. These are subjects that we are learning. But every human being has something, we have something inside of us. Some people, you would say, they have discipline, other people, they don't have it. Some people have gratefulness, other people don't have it. Some people have a natural sense of respect, other people don't have it. So the question is it coincidence that you are born with respect or that you are born with discipline, or is these character traits something that actually need to be and can be developed inside the human being? Because if you're disciplined, it doesn't matter what you do afterwards in your life. If you are disciplined, you're going to have this discipline because it's part of your character. You're going to carry it on for whatever you are doing. Going to school, going to university, having your first job, building up your own company, doesn't matter what it is. So this is that interesting part, which means what all of these Shaolin practices, for me, the way how I am sharing it since years, what it is about. It is about figuring out what is the core of you as a human being that you can develop, and then afterwards, what you are doing with this core really doesn't matter. Some people make a professional life in sports, other people make a profession by being an entrepreneur, other people, they stay employed, other people build houses, other people build cars. It doesn't really matter. Right now, we can sit here. We call this life. We all wish that now we have life. We hope this life is going to be 70, 80, 90, maybe 100 years long. And after these 100 years, then death can come.
Yeah.
Death and life is not a chronology. Who gives you the guarantee? Not right now. No matter how healthy you're living, you get a heart attack right now. Where's the guarantee?
Well, I don't have one. It's one of my fears.
Yeah. Me, I don't have it either. I don't have the guarantee. I don't know every morning if I wake up. Death is not coming later. Life and death simultaneously at the same time. So using this type of perspective from my observation and also like sensing into myself, the more you're used or getting used to something, the more habits actually you yourself are starting to develop. So we humans are beings of habit. So the question is, if 20 years long you lived a type of life where there was not a lot of discipline involved, you can still develop it, of course, in the 21st years and onwards, but before that, we have to somehow balance out these 20 years of your habit of being undisciplined. So what it means is, the older you get, the more habits you already have, the more difficult it will become to change any of them. So this is why starting as early as possible is the easiest way to actually program yourself, condition yourself in the right direction of what type of habits, what type of thinking patterns you would like to develop in yourself. Yeah, but the other truth is also, it depends on the openness of the mind eventually. It depends everything on the openness of yourself. So if somebody is 50 years old, but he is still open to life. Open to life means you actually realize about yourself that you know nothing about this lifetime. You have 50 years of human life, yeah, but 50 years is 50 years, yeah. So it really depends on how open are you staying throughout your journey in this lifetime. If you always take care of staying open, there is no limit in terms of how much and how much more are you able to develop yourself. The more limited, the more restricted, the more closed you are, the more you think you are perfect, the less you're gonna change. So, and this is where now you see that sometimes it's necessary to have this obvious structure and discipline on the one side. But why? Because it's a helpful way to bring out that type of freedom that we say from our tradition. This is the freedom. It's also not the freedom in terms of, especially, you walk through Cluj, many beautiful women. But at home you have like your own women sitting already. Now you could say, well, it's a free world, we're all free, so my wife is at home, but actually I can still flirt around. This is a way of where you say, well, this is freedom. Yeah, but where does this type of freedom lead to? It's leading to suffering.
Yeah.
You're causing suffering by behaving this type of free. No, if you have one wife, you stay with that one wife, that's it.
And you're free from suffering, right?
And you stay free from suffering. But if somebody is tempted too much, if somebody cannot handle his temptation,
he's not free.
No, he's enslaved by temptation. And at some point, this type of behavior is not just going to bring suffering to you, it also brings suffering to everyone that you are involving in. So this is where I say, what type of freedom are you talking about? Yeah, and the freedom that eventually is going to get onto the costs or is causing suffering to you and other ones, this is not the freedom we want. It's the type of freedom that makes us be able to live together in the community way better. This is the way of freedom. Yeah, where I can let you live the life how you like to live it, and you let me live my life how I like to live it. I don't need to tell you your way is wrong, you should live like I do. No, this is not free, this is limited. This is thinking you have the answers to the questions of the universe. Well, you don't, just as like I don't have them. The only thing I'm sharing right now is my observation. I don't say it's right for anyone, I just say until now, everything we talked about, it worked for me. If something is useful from what we have talked about and somebody tries it out and then realize, cool, also works for me, I'm really happy about it. But if somebody says, well, this is not my way of living, I don't share this opinion, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also a healthy way to also start to understand that this lifetime is not just about roses and butterflies. Sometimes you are meeting situations that you just have to face and that you have to go through, meaning you're gonna meet conflict at one or another point. You're gonna meet the feeling of having competition. And the martial art, the Shaolin practices, for example, I think is a very healthy way to already get used to. If you fail at one competition, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means practice more.
What is it essentially I would like to do with this lifetime that has been given to me? And one thing, like very practical wise, is the reason why I'm very happy for this invitation. Because one of the things I realized for myself is to wake up and invest some part of your lifetime in order to generate something that brings benefit beyond yourself. That is something that gives me purpose. I like to wake up knowing this is what I'm going to do today. I'm grateful this evening going to bed knowing of having had this opportunity talking with you and sharing out the thoughts.
This is where I say, what type of freedom are you talking about? Yeah, and the freedom that eventually is going to get onto the costs or is causing suffering to you and other ones. This is not the freedom we want. It's the type of freedom that makes us be able to live together in a community way better. This is the way of freedom. Yeah, where I can let you live the life how you like to live it, and you let me live my life how I like to live it. I don't need to tell you your way is wrong, you should live like I do. No, this is not free, this is limited. This is thinking you have the answers to the questions of the universe. Well, you don't, just as like I don't have them.
Who is the master? It is the one who is hidden inside of everyone and each one. It's the best version that you can bring out about yourself. If you don't cultivate it, the master will not come out from you. It is you yourself who needs to do the work. You do the work with the right methods, and that master will come out. You are going to be your own master. You don't need to live the life for anybody else. Live it to the fullest possibilities of what you are capable of. And this is what I just expressed as, that's what I call self-mastery. If sometimes in this lifetime you feel something is not proceeding, I'm stuck somehow. Why? Why are you stuck? Because you continuously try to move forward with the old patterns that also haven't worked the last 10 times. It's time for a new perspective. So it's good. Father, mother, what do you think about this and that? It's not that you have to do it like this, but it helps me also to understand the world from other people's perspective. Then it just widens my horizon. That's what it does. And at the end, I see the situation from this angle, from that angle, from that one, from that one, from that one, from that one. So that means I see many perspectives. This is why I probably see many more solutions. And then at the end, I choose the one which I think is appropriate for what I can do, and also which consequences, and they will come. Every decision will have a consequence. The question is, can you live with it or not?
The truth is, you're always present. You just don't know about it. You're over, there's some layer on top of the presence which somehow makes you think you're not in the present, but we're always in the present. Just the realization that you are is not there, because it is overlaid by thoughts. If you take the thoughts away, you will realize, oh, there it is. You can call it God, you can call it the nature, you can call it the universe, no matter what. This force, this power, does not make mistakes. God is not putting you in this earth incomplete. Why would he do that? What he's putting on the earth is existence. He's granting us existence.
Yeah.
And afterwards, it starts that we have concepts. We start thinking. We start having ideas about how this life is supposed to be. If you're not successful, it's not a life. If you don't have many cars, it's not a life. If you don't have many friends, it's not a life. Well, no, this is all human ideas. You came to the earth right from the beginning. You have been complete.
Do you think that transformation can happen without significant challenges or hardships?
No. There is really that simple saying, also fits very well together to what we said in the beginning. Without limitation, there is no progress. Because to realize this is my limit, I don't feel comfortable at this limit. That's why I make that one single step across the line. I cross the line, I cross the limit. That's why you grow. That's why that cycle, that circle of that circle of comfort starts to expand. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Only if you know where your limits are, you know what is binding you, you know what is holding you down. And that's why that small step, always more, continuously small steps, not big steps. But when this becomes like a part of your lifestyle, that figuring out where's my limit, and one step more. Figuring out where's the limit, next step. Continuously. Automatically what it means is every day you are entering into new frontier. Meaning new area that before that you have never seen before. Why? Because you always stopped at the limit. Because you always stopped at the borderline. Yeah. You cannot share what you don't have. Meaning, make the investment in yourself, dedicate the time really into yourself, and make sure that you really possess something that nobody else out there in the world has it in the way how you have it. There must be something where you are confident about yourself, that you say, I have went to this type of training for so many years, I have practiced so hard, there is no second person in the world who can copy this, who can copy me. They maybe explain it in a different way, but not in my way. So there is something that I have created about myself very, very uniquely. So if you have something like this and you're confident about possessing this, I think this is already like the first very, very important step now to also express it. So, and then when the time is right, when the circumstances are right and the people start to realize and actually also see what you have, then I think you just start now and do your work, do your job and share. But in the beginning, why sometimes maybe you don't have the confidence to do it? Maybe because it's not clear enough yet. If I really want something, the energy must be there. My mind must be there. If my mind is there, my energy is there. Okay? And there we have sometimes these nice Asian sayings. Whatever is important to you, where your heart is, there is the mind. Where the mind is, so where the intention is, there is the energy. Where the energy is, there's the creation. So, if your heart is hanging on something, but your actions are doing something else, that just means your energy and what your heart really wants, they are not merging at all. So the universe doesn't know what do you want, what should the universe give you now. So for me, it's all about alignment. What I feel inside aligns with what I talk, it aligns with what I think, it aligns with what my actions do, it aligns optimally with the proper circumstances. And when everything is aligned, then the energy can just flow. Then it just flows and it just happens. This is for me my understanding when we talk about these type of things, visualizing, sensing, feeling already, contemplating about something.